Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to a guitar lesson. And in this video, we're going to be learning how to play I Die For You by Bon Jovi. So this song is off of their third album, Slippery When Wet, which is of course, their most successful album. This is one of the lesser known tracks. Well, I mean, it's not that lesser known, but, you know, it gets shadowed by, the big hits of the album that everyone knows. Live It On a Prayer, You Give It a Bad Name, Wanted Her Alive, I've heard those songs a million times. But this is my personal favorite from the album, and, it's very catchy and it's very good songwriting going on within the song. And Richie Sambora has some pretty simple yet like really effective guitar work going on this track, which is usually the case for most of his songwriting. That's his style. So the rhythm guitar parts, like I said, they're very simple. They probably won't give you that much trouble. The solo might give you a little bit of trouble. There's some fast licks and techniques that he uses that might take a little bit of practice, but for the rhythm guitar parts, I'm pretty sure you can get it down within a day or two. It's pretty easy. Now, with that being said, we get started off with the guitar and the keyboards kicking in before the drums and the bass comes in. So for that part, it's just power chords. Pretty simple. Sounds like this. So it's very simple, as you can see, just power chords going on. So we have the A power chord, and you hit the A power chord again, and go to an F power chord. So, alright, then you're gonna just end that really quickly and just wait a little bit, and then you go to a G power chord. And before you go to the G power chord, he does like a quick down up, like percussive hits. So just put your fingers on top of the strings, just rest them very gently, so you're not pressing down and you're not like letting it open either. It's kind of in the middle to get that sort of sound. So he does that really quickly, up down, and then it's a G power chord. So we have this so far. Then he does this. Now I believe in the recording there's two different guitars doing this part, because there's like a higher harmony, right? But it's easier to play it down here rather than jump up here and then go back down. So he's playing it's a C major chord. So you can play a lot simpler right here. That's just the 5th fret on the D, the G, and the B string. So you can use 3 fingers like this, or you can just do a bar like that. So you hit that twice, back to the G power chord. So we have this so far. Repeat. So you do the same thing, the exact same thing, just twice. Then the drums kick in the second time. Then there's like a little drum fill thing going on, and the whole band kicks in except for the vocals. And then the guitar riff starts, which is the same guitar riff that is used in the chorus. So once you learn this main riff right here, we're done with the chorus as well. So. And then you just repeat that over and over again. So, guitar riff is pretty simple. We're playing in groups of 3, so 3 notes in every single group. First group is going to be 0, 2, 3 on the A string. Then you're going to go 1, 3, 5 on the low E string. Then you're going to go 3, 5 on the low E string to 2 on the A. So that last part right there is going to be 0, 3 on the low E string to 2 on the A. So all together, remember, it's just in groups of 3. So repeat. The second time through in the chorus, as well as right now, you only go through half of the riff. You stop right there. After you do 1, 3, 5, you stop right there, and then you do this. It's that same ending that we did before. You're gonna see that a bunch of times in the song, so make sure you get that part down. Where you just go to the G power chord, over to the C major chord twice, back to the G. So that happens a lot in the song. It's sort of used as a transition thing. It's like a tail. It's called a tail riff at the end of a riff. So after that, we get into the first verse. Now the first verse is quite different from the second verse, which is pretty unique for an 80s song, because they use lots of similar stuff going on, but but for this song they're quite different. And the first verse is not much going on in terms of the guitar parts. They're mostly dominated by vocals and keys. Bass and drums aren't really doing anything either that much. In the second verse, there's a lot more going on, but the first verse, he's holding a power chord at the start, and it sort of fades out like that. Then you're gonna hear him hit an F power chord. It's gonna be lower in volume, so then he's gonna hit the A power chord a few times. Then he's gonna go up to G power chord. So now when I'm playing this live, if you want to cover up more space or just play something, you could just randomly pick some of these chords. Just go between A and F most of the time. That's what he's doing for most of the verse. And when I saw him playing it live, sometimes he plays something, sometimes he doesn't, but stuff like that. Just go between A and F. Then right before the verse starts to get ramped up a little bit, he hits a G power chord, and that's sort of marks the end of the verse, and it goes into the pre-chorus part, which starts off with like the Romeo and Juliet part. I think that's so that part, it sounds like this, the pre-chorus. And then we go right back into the same chorus. So, like I said, there's not much going on in the verse. He's just really kind of playing between A and F power chords. Most of the verse is created by John Bon Jovi's vocals and David Bryan's keyboards. So, well, at least the first verses. Now, for the pre-chorus, we get a little bit more guitar going on. We have, so that's an F power chord. We hold it for a measure. Then we're gonna go. So we're gonna hit the muted low E string twice. Then we hit an A power chord. Then we go back to the muted E string twice. And we hit a G power chord. So the F power chord lasts a full measure, like a full bar. And then the A and the G just last half a bar each. So you play them twice as fast. After the G power chord, you go back to the F. Make sure in between you're hitting the low E string muted twice, always. So this time, instead of going A and G, you're gonna go C and G. So C is the 3rd fret power chord off the A string. C to G. So we have this. Back to A and G. So first time goes A and G. Next time C and G. Then A and G again. Then the 4th time through, so that's the 4th time, right before the chorus starts. So he goes. He's just holding F power chord. Then he hits it again right before he changes the chord. So F, hit it again, and switch to an E minor chord. So So he gets that sort of suspenseful, creepy sound because he's going down just a half step. So that's a little songwriting technique if you want to use that at the end of like a section, or it's usually used as a transition to the next section. So because this is an F power chord, this is an E, so F to E, that's a half step. So you don't have to worry about that. I'm just telling you what's extra information. So that's the end of the pre-chorus. Then we go right back into the same chorus as we did before. Alright, you get the idea. It's the same chorus. We already looked at it as in the intro. Then we get to the second verse, which is right after, the chorus, of course. So the second verse, like I said earlier in the video, is different from the first verse. First verse is not much going on. It's mostly dominated by John Bon Jovi's vocals and David Bryan's keyboards. However, in the second verse, the entire band is sort of, playing together. So at the start, he doesn't actually do anything. He's just holding an A and an F. Then in the second half of the verse, he starts going. So, first half of the verse, there's not much going on. Second half of the verse, though, he starts doing this little, the basic 80s rhythm thing. So, basically, we're hitting the muted A string, palm muted A string, and in between, we're hitting the A power chord. So, just follow that rhythm. Muted A string to A power chord. So you hit it 4 times in total. Then you go up to a F major chord. Now usually you play an F major chord like this, or like this, but he plays it like this. So that's the 3rd fret on the A and the D, and the 2nd fret on the G. So we're still muting the A string. It's just the 3rd fret now. And you also hit this chord 4 times in total, so we have this so far. Alright, so after the F major chord, we just take this exact same shape and move it up 2 frets. So from F major we go to G major now. So 5th fret on the A and the D, 4th fret on the G. Alright, so we hold that for a little bit, the G major, and then we go right back into the pre-chorus. So like I said, second verse is slightly different than the first verse. It's just you're just adding more of a rhythm, more of a get the song moving and flowing. Now we've covered everything. So we covered the intro. Then there's the first verse and second verse, which are both different. We covered both of them. Both of the pre-choruses are the same. Both the choruses are the same. So we just go through that again. Now after the second chorus, he does the same thing. That little ending lick right there. That's right before the solo. So the solo is really the only other thing we have to learn. Well, there's also the bridge. The bridge is very simple. It's just 2 chords. So now, let's learn the solo. So, the first phrase of the solo sounds like this. So, this part isn't that hard. We're gonna hit the 7th fret on the D string, then 4, 5 on the G, back to 7 on the D. So the second time we go back, so we have this so far. Wait. Okay. So while you're holding that 7th fret, then we're gonna do this little gallop rhythm thing on it. So. So second time you do it, you're gonna hit the 7th fret a couple of times. Then go back to 4, 5 on the G. And this time we're gonna end it on the 5th fret on the D string. So we have this slowly. Alright. So now we're gonna do that same little gallop rhythm thing on the 5th fret of the D string. So hit it a couple of times. So after do that, you're gonna go 4-5 on the G again. And bend up the 5th fret a whole step. Then play normally. So after you play the 5th fret, 5th fret, bend it up, and you play it normally. Then we're gonna go down and this little descending pattern. So that's 4 on the G, 5 on the D, 5 on the A, 7 on the A. So slowly we have this all together. Okay, next phrase sounds like this. So that's 5, 7, 8 on the high E string, down to 6 on the B string. Then we do that same thing again, 5, 7, 8. This time we don't go to the 6th fret though, we just go, and then we do this little lick. So this one is a little bit on the recording it's kind of hard to hear what he's doing, and live he doesn't play it the same way, but if you slow down the tracks, this is roughly what he's doing and going for. So what you're gonna do first is grab the 6th fret. You're gonna want to hold this shape first. So the shape is 4th fret on the E string and the 6th fret on the B string. So this sort of shape with your index and ring finger. Okay, so that's the shape you want to go for because that's the shape we're gonna hold while going up and down. So now what we're gonna do is keep holding the shape and hit the 6th fret on the B string and slide up to the 8th fret. So then you're gonna hit the 6th fret on the high E string. So back to the 8th fret on the B string. So then slide back up to the 10th fret. So as you can see, it's this pattern right here. We're just going up 2 frets each time. And what we're doing is sliding on the B string, hit the high E string, back to the B string. So slide. So B string slide, high E string, B string, B string slide again. So it's a slide, E, B, slide, E, B. And each time you slide, you're sliding up 2 frets. So we start on 4 on the high E string and 6 on the B. Then you go up to 6 on the high E string to 8 on the B. Then 8th fret on the high E string to 10 on the B. And then finally to 10 on the high E string and 12 on the B. So it sounds very complicated, but you're just going up 2 frets. So slide, E string, B string, and repeat that pattern. Slide, E string, B string, slide, E string, B string. So and once you get faster, you can start hitting both of them and once you go up to 12, go back down to 10 to 8 and stop right there. So at the end, you just go hit the 8 and 6 a couple of times. Alright, then we get into this next little lick. So far, slowly I'll play what we have. So next he does this little lick. He plays it down here and then he moves it up an octave. So So what's going on there is so he's doing something like that. So what's going on there is just playing that little pattern. So it's 7-5 on the D. Then you're gonna go 7 on the D to 5 on the G. So back to 7 on the D. So essentially it's a 5-note pattern, which is why the feel is kind of weird. If you don't know what I mean when you play it to the record or to the song, then you'll understand what I mean, because we're playing odd notes, or groupings of odd notes, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not even. That's why it feels kind of weird. So do that 3 times, that whole 5-note pattern. And you slightly palm mutes as well. Then what we're going to do is just moving up an octave. So we were here before, now we're going to be here. So now we're on between 19 and 17. Same string, just moved up an octave. So we're going to go 19, 17. Then 19 on the D to 17 on the G. Back to 19 on the D. So we're just moved up an octave. It's the same pattern, same notes. So down here you play it 3 times, but when you go up here an octave you only play it twice. Because after that we do this little ascending lick. And this part, by the way, this is more of the tricky parts of the solo, because he never plays it the same way live. This is the sort of, the shreddy 80s part where he's just going for it. It's just, there's no like set lick or anything he's doing. I can tell you the notes he's playing and roughly what he's doing, but whenever he plays it live, he goes a little bit off. Adds an extra lick, adds an extra bend. Might play it slightly slower or faster each time. It just depends on the show. So after do this part twice. So right there, what's going on is the fast part. So after you do that twice, we're just gonna go up in this scale. So it's kind of just a A minor pentatonic scale almost. So after you do this twice, we're gonna go. Just walk up this scale. You can play with the notes however you want, and just walk up the A minor scale. So 17, 19 on the D, 17, 19 on the G, 17, 20 on the B, and 17, 20 on the high E. So you can go do whatever you want with it. Just follow these notes just use them as a sort of a guide map. The one thing that is pretty clear to hear is that he bends up the 20th fret on the high E string when he gets to it, and then he plays 20 normally. So after that, he just descends down with using the exact same notes. So just play around with that, just sort of. So just do whatever you want. He goes all the way back down to the A string really quickly. The second he gets down to the A string, that's when he starts the next lick. So that's right there. He's gonna go hit the A string a couple of times, 5th fret on the A string, palm muted. Then the 7th fret on the A string, twice also. It's also muted. So then hit the 4th fret on the G string, and he has a pinch harmonic like that. So get it to as close as you possibly can to the recording. Then he does the same thing, just a little bit higher up. So just 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14 on the A, the D, and the G. And then bends up the 15th fret on the B string a whole step. So after this part, you can just go whatever you want. It's just, he's not really going for an exact note. He's just ascending in the A minor. So that and the E minor. So pentatonic scale. So that's the end of the solo. Now, right at the end of the solo, where he bends the 15th fret on the B string, right after that we go into the bridge, which is basically just a chorus, but the instruments are doing a different thing. The vocals are still the same as the chorus, but the instruments are different. So they're just going between A and F, the power chords. That's literally all that the bridge is. It's just 2 chords, so that's probably the easiest part of the song. Then we go to the chorus a couple of times, 1 or 2 times. I think it's a double chorus at the end, and then we have this outro part. So that's also pretty easy. It's all just power chords, and it sounds like this. Sorry. Let me try that again. So it's very simple. Had a little bit of a mess up in there. It's hard to memorize these songs when they're all just power chords. The different parts of the song just blend together, because they all just use power chords. So what he's doing here in the outro is this. It's a D power chord, so it's 5th fret on the A. To the E minor chord. Then he goes to the F power chord, and then G power chord. So we have this. And then he finishes out the song with the final chord, which is the song we started which is the chord we started the song off with, the A power chord. And then he just lets that ring. So for the outro, so he just lets that ring and the feedback comes out and stuff. But that's the end of the song. So that's basically it for the entire song. He adds some extra fills and stuff live and on the recording, but they're not really consistent, and you can improvise or just play the main rhythm guitar part. So like I said, the rhythm guitar part is pretty easy. Solo is a little bit more difficult. Was a little bit more difficult to teach as well, but it's not that hard to play. With that being said, thanks for watching, and let me know down in the comments any other songs you would like to learn or any other type of videos you would like to see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.